Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Intuition Incubator interview. I am Carolyn Beauchamp, the author of the recently published book, Horses to Higher Consciousness, Riding the Cosmic Current. And it's an inspirational memoir based on my life and how I had to learn to trust my own intuition. And the Intuition Incubator interviews are based on this. And it is my honor and privilege today to be joined with Lulu Carter. I am so excited to introduce her to you. Maria Luisa Malta Carter, known better as Lulu Carter, is a Brazilian born international educator, motivational speaker, and author recognized for her impactful work at the intersection of education, arts, and community service around the world. As the CEO of the nonprofit Be Gaia and Destination Partners, she's dedicated her career to creating inclusive environments and empowering individuals from diverse backgrounds. Lulu is the author of The Shiro Mindset, a personal development book emphasizing resilience, self discovery, and cultural diversity. Supported by her master's in education and degrees in speech therapy, psychodrama, and positive psychology, with over 35 years of experience in programs for inclusion and the neurodiverse population. Her initiatives range from global connectivity projects, all aimed at inspiring and uplifting individuals while fostering a sense of community and shared responsibility across cultures. Currently directing a global documentary, Powered by Kindness, about the importance of kindness in mental health and inclusion. Lulu is committed to her purpose and her journey for joy. Welcome, Lulu.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for even thinking of me. I'm very privileged to be here with you in your journey, with your book. So proud of you.
Well, thank you. And I'm so proud of you. And the reason you are here is I'll let our audience know Lulu and I go way back. It
Yeah.
must be what, almost 20 years. I mean, it's at least
15,
15,
15.
15
Mm-hmm.
years. Um, when I was teaching basic music competence, I went to Lulu's outside the box studio. And when I walked in, I felt like I was walking into Willy Wonka. It was fabulous. And lo and behold, I taught my classes there, and I have been inspired by your work ever since. And then House of Gaia, with the yoga and all the other beautiful programs that you had there. So it's an honor and a privilege. So before we go into your actual work, I'd like to start with how did your journey really begin with you trusting your intuition? Where did this start for you to create what you have created, my dear?
So first of all, can you hear the sound of the people working in the air condition or no?
No, I cannot. I have noise canceling.
Great. I just want to be transparent with the public,
Yeah.
just to know that my air condition right now is being replaced, okay,
Well,
as we
life.
speak.
Well, it's that I love that
All the
saying.
noises in the life that comes to challenge us, right?
Well, that's absolutely true. And I love that saying. It's always been one of my favorites. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans.
Yeah. And I like it to be transparent, you know. That's I think it's fundamental to find the joy is to be authentic and is to be transparent and embrace the imperfections.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we try to portray the perfections, but I like it to say that I embrace the imperfections.
I love that. And that's what's so fabulous about you. I love that. We're just calling it out, folks.
Okay, so enjoy the moment.
Yeah, well, I have noise
So
canceling.
first of all, thank you so much for all of you to be here with us today. I think it's a very important time of our lives where we are starting to understand the importance of being human, you know, with this new technology and AIs and everything that's going on. I think as they learn how to be humans, I think we are forgetting how to be humans.
That's right.
And I think all the programs that I create, it's to help people to feel their I believe it that your child never ends. Your child never dies. The inner child that's in you is the one that's going to see the genuine moments that can generate joy, because joy is so different than happiness. And I've been doing this study of positive emotions and positive psychology now for about 10 years. And I got to discover that there are many different kinds of joys and there are many different kinds of happiness. Before I thought it was just one. You know, you
Oh, yeah,
happen, that's what it
elaborate.
is.
Yeah,
But it
elaborate on
isn't.
that.
There are many different qualities for the emotions. And I think I became very curious to understand human hearts and human emotions throughout my work. I got the possibility of travel all around the world through my other professional, which is the travel management company that I have, and I got to travel all around the world and I got to experience many different cultures. And I was touched by many, many different people with different colors of skins and different backgrounds and different beliefs. And then there is a moment that you just cross culture, because I'm originally from Brazil
Hmm.
and I've been living in the United States now for about 30 years. And I love the moment that there are two cultures or three or four cultures, but then there's a moment that we just cross and and we start to translate each other in deeper level than just not language. It's the body language, it's the energy, it's the feeling. And so for me, did I always follow my intuition? Yes. And what was my intuition was a voice that came from my heart. It wasn't a voice here in my head. This voice is the intellectual voice, but for me, it was the voice that came from my heart that whispered that if I trusted fully the process without any expectations, judgments, wishes, just by simply surrendering to the process, I would find I would find that serenity and the harmony of being me. And that's simple, but that's complicated because we tended to put a lot of things on us, a lot of masks, a lot of, because at the end, we all want to be accepted. At the end, we all want to be loved. At the end, we all want to be seen, right?
Exactly.
And so for me, it was a journey of separation of other people's voices in my head as well.
Hmm.
When they said, oh, you can't, oh, that's too difficult, or that's too impossible, or that's too far away. By the way, there's nothing far away from me, because I've been all over the world and I love when I go to all over the world and I like to touch the ground and feel the leaves and feel the stones of the ground. I have a vivid moments of this hand touching like the stone at the ocean, the bottom of ocean in Greece, you know,
Oh,
and
beautiful.
saying, yes, when you, the other, the negative voice came and said that I couldn't. Look at me, listen to my heart that says, yes, you can.
I love that, Lulu. And I just did a little talk on Women's Spirit Festival yesterday, and that's exactly what I said. We've been programmed to listen to the voice or voices without, as opposed to the voice within. And it's all
Exactly.
in here. So I love the way you pulled that from the head down into the heart, and you're listening
Yes.
from your heart. Wow, everybody really take this in. This is this is really great stuff.
Yes, we tended to be in the fear, what ifs? What if this doesn't happen? What if this? doesn't work? What if this is not good enough? What if this is not um, what I need? Because sometimes we are giving opportunities and it's not what we want, but maybe it's what we need, you know?
Yeah.
And so I embraced life in a way. And if you want to know more um, about my journey, I share in my book, The Shiro's Mindset, you know, but I embraced this life as an opportunity to be my best self. It's just an opportunity, you know,
Beautiful.
and then day by day, one day at a time, one morning at a time, I give myself a grace to be imperfect,
I love that. Acceptance, self-acceptance.
to be creative, because I think that's one of my top strengths is spirituality, creativity, to be spiritual, to understand that everything is and accepting what it is, and then find the joy in moments that you couldn't even imagine that you would find the joy, and I can share some of those moments with
I
you.
would love for you to share it with our audience and me. Exactly.
I know.
Hear some of these
So
examples of,
one of the very joyful um, moment that I'm going to share, it's kind of contradicted because it happened in Haiti after the earthquake, the big earthquake. I was invited to go with a group of psychologists and nurses to attend this first visit in Liogan. Liogan was the epicenter of the earthquake, and they had not been visited yet by a this specific group of nurses and psychologists. And I had the honor to be invited, and I said yes. I said yes to the most conflict um, question that I ever had, besides, "Do you want to marry me?" But this was like, "Do you want to go to Haiti? Do you want to serve in Haiti? Do you want to serve children in Haiti?" And this is when nobody could go to Haiti. Just the Red Cross was going to Haiti. Just the doctors allowed it to go to Haiti. There was not even airplanes going to Haiti. There was nothing. It was closed. The country was closed. And I made it to be in Haiti at that time. And I had to really eliminate any expectation of going to Haiti. So I went with zero expectation. Not even the expectation to be safe, not even the expectation of having a cup of water. I
wow.
didn't know what I was, you know, going to face it.
Yeah.
And it's incredible how humans come together in crisis. And it's incredible to see the resilience of the ones that want to survive. And it's incredible how laughs comes when you don't even expect, because someone said something funny, when someone just handed the piece of food that you were expecting to eat. Or me, I was asked to bring drums and puppets, and I brought all of my props to Haiti when they were dying and they were losing their legs and they were losing their families. And I never experienced so much grief in my life. And there I was with my rainbow fabric and my big puppets, my small puppets, my colors. I brought paint. It was surreal, Caroline, to be packing all that joy that was going to be unleashing the joy of the children during that moment where their life was ending. It was the end of the world for Haiti, you know?
My
And
goodness.
so I saw I saw that life has positive moments, even in the darkest moment.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to tap into them. We can sit and be very sad and feel the pity and just immerse ourselves with sorrow, or we can look ourselves a little bit from a distance and see the blessings that surrounds us and count them again and be grateful for the things that are going right,
Yes.
and then giving permission to that sadness to stay. We don't want to have toxic positive emotions, which is the one that doesn't want to see the sadness. We want to acknowledge that feeling of grief, acknowledge that feeling of sorrow. And yet, we want to open our hearts as windows and let that pass through and not hold that. Acknowledge your sadness, acknowledge your fears, but don't become your sadness and
Yeah.
don't become your fear.
That's beautiful because that's a balance, right? I mean, there's a balancing act with that.
It's necessary to have darkness in order to have light, and it's necessary to have light in order to have darkness. It's just necessary because it's the contrast, right? However, we are meant to be well, right?
Yes.
We are
Joy.
meant to be well. We are not meant to wake up in the morning feeling so tired and so dragged down because the news are not good, because the gas went up, because this person was rude to you, because this is gonna happen. The noise, right? The air condition breaking and the noise is gonna happen. But you can make those noise into rhythm and you can dance with it.
Absolutely.
It is a choice. I always give that choice. It's a choice. You can stay sad or you can transform the sadness into something like lessons, right?
Lessons, absolutely.
Lessons and say, oh, that didn't work, or that's too bad. And I am sad. I was always very dramatic about my sadness too. I cried in public, you know. I don't hide my sadness. I don't hide my, I don't feel ashamed of my negative emotions. Let's put this way.
Oh, very good. Yes. Yes. That
Yeah.
you realize,
However, I don't nag people with my negative emotions. They're mine. They shouldn't belong to the others,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So I'm not going to be aggressive. I'm going to be shouting or fighting. It's a waste of time.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So instead, I embrace kindness, which I think kindness is my I cannot live in this world without kindness. Let me put it this way.
Exactly. And it's interesting because with the other day or the last week when we were at the meeting, you were sharing a cute story about, hiding behind your mother, who I knew who was such a lovely, lovely woman, hiding behind her, and that you were really very shy, which I'm sure came as a surprise to many people because you're so bigger than life to all of us, right? And you've been out there and you've been doing and creating and bringing so much joy to people. And to hear that was like, what? how could that be? So there's a challenge that you had to go through, to come out the other side, to be who you are. So I liked what you said prior to that about your intuition. You just chose to listen to it. And that's not simple. So did that come into it when you were a shy little girl behind your mother? How did
Yeah, I think I wasn't, I was shy because I was afraid of being bullied or rejected, or because I was so cute and so creative and so genuine. And so I would say things that other children would like, woo, what are you doing? I would make my own toys. I would bring it to the school, my camera that I made it with boxes, and I would, and I was pulling Polaroids, like I would do a drawing of a little child, and I would pretended that I had a Polaroid, and so other kids were not very understanding of my process of being creative.
uh-huh.
And so I I thought, okay, I can show that side to many people. So I started to kind of coming more introspective,
Yeah, shut
you
down.
know, shut down because I was afraid of being judged. I was afraid of being accepted. And I think it took me a long time because I was doing dance, I was chorus line, I was trained by teachers from Joffrey Ballet. I went to New York, I danced, took classes, but yet I had a harmer. I was inside. And then at the age of 18 or 19, I met two incredible teachers that changed my life. And one is Angel Viana and other is Regina Miranda. Angel Viana passed last year, age 90 something. And Regina Miranda, she is a star in Brazil. She's a choreographer, teacher. It's amazing. I'm still in contact with her, so we adore each other. She inspires me to do documentaries. She's the creative force behind my wild dream. She tells me that I can. She's my I can person, which I think we all should have one person in our life that roots for us and say, yes, you can, right? Because
Yes.
that person is also
A mentor,
reaffirming
right?
something that
She's your mentor.
my mentor totally. And then I started learning about self-awareness, body awareness, breathing at age 18. At
Wow.
age 18, I was doing a lot self help and improvements, and I was learning about meditation. I was learning about yoga. I was learning about everything. And so I believe it that I am today for my students what I've learned to be with my mentors, you know?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And that was the era, because I experienced the same thing. I started doing yoga at, maybe 20, 19, 20,
Yeah,
and it was new. People weren't doing it. It was outside the box.
exactly.
Right? It was very
Very outside the box.
box.
Yes,
Fun, but yeah, yeah, it was very
very.
outside the box. So, we had to be very open to our own guidance, our own inner guidance, our own intuition, because it was not mainstream.
No, for me, it was my parachute, you know? I felt like my world was changing. All that again, is in the book, but my life, I felt like it was my parachute. And I like it to be at service because I feel that we all need to help, but we all need to be helped. So there is no like, oh, I'm better than you, so let me help you. No. At the moment of service, there is this infinite, exponentially energy
Yeah,
of I'm here for you and you're here for me. I'm here for you and you're here for me. So it's like a dance of energy, an exchange. Never goes from me just serving.
Right.
Never.
Wow. I love that. That is really, really great because people can they can give too much and be burnt out and not be receiving. So it's a giving, receiving, and I love the way you just describe that. It's a dance. It's a balance of that. That is beautiful. And that's
It
how
is beautiful, and for me, it is my life. It is my life, and it's my honor to meet people where they need to be met, and then they unlock things in me that I needed to unlock. So they give me the gifts as well.
absolutely. That's a beautiful, beautiful point to make because
And that for me is joy, you see?
yes,
And
yes.
that's for me is joy, and that's for me is happiness. Because when I do deep reflection, when I'm happy when others are happy. I'm happy when I feel that I had my purpose fulfilled, right? And so the question that I have for you is what makes you happy? You know, I'm talking to the ones watching, right?
Yeah.
What makes you happy? What is your purpose in life? What is that makes you feel alive? What gives you the energy to wake up every day with that feeling of hope? We needed to question more this than what is making me sick and why I'm not performing, why I'm not achieving. Social media puts a lot of pressure in people to achieve things,
Mhm.
right? In be something and become something. And I like to say that no more pressure. Just be you. You are enough.
I
You are
love, oh, I love that. And that's such an important point. I'm so happy that you're bringing this up for everybody, all our audience. It's we're always felt like there has to be this veneer, this front. We have to put on this face that really isn't our own feelings and to be free to be who you are and share what's meaningful to you without feeling that you're having to fulfill someone else's expectations or live up to whatever is happening on social media, that you're in the right, what would be the term for it, you're in the right parameters of whatever they're doing, that you're feeling like you have to fit in to that, where that's what outside the box was so good at. It really was outside the box, and it filled me with so much joy to be in that space and work.
And House of Gaia doesn't even have a box.
Yes,
It's just like us,
right, that's right,
you
that's
know,
right.
it's just like us. And and we have now reactivated, I wouldn't say reopened because we never closed, but we are reactivating our Gaia studio and we've opened our doors to the neurodivergent population. And we have two beautiful classes right now that they are preparing arts for the Bloom show that's going to happen Saturday 25th at from 3 to 6. I chose it this time 3 to 6 because you can do anything in the morning and you can do anything after 6. So come and relax with us. See the beautiful expressions of love that this population is creating. We want to include them. We want them to feel welcome, to this community. And I know that we will watch this interview a couple of years in the future, and we're going to say, oh, yes, we did Bloom.
That's
That
right.
was amazing. And again, no expectations. I work hard. I put all my philanthropic hours to work. I think it's my gift is to see other people's gift
Yeah.
and to highlight them and to be that yes you can person for them,
Yes.
you know
Yeah, just
and
like the pandemic was for you.
exactly, and then keep the joy going. We are fixing a bus right now, is the kindness bus. It's going to turn into be the power by kindness bus, and we are down to one piece that we're waiting for. But then we're going to turn this bus into a joyful bus with lots of good activities. And I hope you, Caroline, will be part of this journey. And
I
as much
will.
as you, if you want to join us, please join this caravan of joy. We can call the caravan of joy,
I love that. Yes,
right?
yes, right.
You see, following our intuition.
Yes, there, and it came right out. Caravan of Joy. I loved your story at the meeting when you were talking about it and saying everybody was like, "Oh, no one wanted that bus." Like, "Oh, that's a, broken down nothing. We don't want that." But here when we have the love in our heart for, no, but look what it can be, just like our mentors are to us.
Exactly. Exactly. We do need it to get away from the instant gratification mode,
Yes.
because the best food doesn't come so quick. You need to take the time to
Simmer.
savor, to work on it, right? Relationships, the same. We needed to work on it.
Yeah.
Friendship, we need to work on it, you know. So we
Nurture.
need to teach our young generation that life doesn't have to happen in a flash. That I want now, I need now, give me now.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification, exactly. So I think we needed to have that respect for old things. And
Yeah.
then there's no much option. We're gonna all grow older together, or we're gonna grow older separate and alone. And we know that it's not okay to be alone when you're older, right?
Right. Right.
Waiting for someone to be your companion. That's not okay. So we need to work now in our relationships so we can always scratch each other's back.
Yes.
That you can look at me and say, "Can you put my lipstick on it?" And I'm, "Okay, I'm an artist."
Yeah, and I was a makeup artist, so I could do that for
Right. We needed to scratch each other's back. We needed to help each other's put our undies. We needed to help each other singing, admiring the bird that's going to go on our trees, because our interests as we go older change, right?
Yeah,
We start to appreciate the simple things.
very
Simple.
much so. Very much so.
Yeah. And so that's I feel that's one of my job is to slow down the youth, is to tell them it's okay to wait. It's okay. It's okay to be patient. And then see the development of life with lots of joy and lots of happiness and lots of gratitude and just practicing,
It,
having the discipline to be good.
yeah,
Because we can turn into mean people very quick,
yes,
but the discipline to be good.
discipline to be good. I like that because it's going to take time, whether you're learning an instrument or learning a language or learning how to cook or sew or bake or, ride a horse or, play an instrument, whatever it is. It's in the nurturing time that goes into it is
Yeah.
beautiful. I mean, that's the beauty of it is the process.
Is the process. You touch on it. Yeah, it is the process. It's not when the wall is going to be finished. It's when I am in touch with that wall, you know.
Yes.
And my mom, I have so many, stories, but one time I hired her through my travel business to do consulting at a lodge in the Amazon. So she moved it to the Amazon in Brazil to work with the lodge employees as, in a human resource. And she ended up staying there 3 years. She went for 4 days or five, days workshop, and then she stayed there for 3 years. And she fell in love with the people from the jungle because a lot of them never had lived the jungle. They didn't even know that there were like buildings and everything, So she used to take them to see the buildings. She used to see them to have an ice cream. She cross culture with them.
Yeah.
But she said, when you're doing something, whatever you're doing, you do with love. So even if you're painting a wall, paint that wall with love, because that wall will be special to you every time you arrive in the place. You're gonna feel that love back, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's one reason why our space people feel love when they get in, right?
Yes.
Because everything is really meant to be there. Everything is put it to help people to feel welcome, to feel appreciated. And so that's what is our nonprofit about. It's about social inclusion. It's about allowing the space to be safe so people can be themselves and be met where they are at without the pretensions of being happy if they're not happy. But we will open their window. We will open their heart to allow those feelings to pass through. And
Yeah.
then we reinforce the positive emotions.
That's a huge service, huge, because we've been for many, 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 I mean, centuries really, expected to fit in this certain box, or it's not okay to feel this way. It's not okay to express your feelings. You have to live up to these expectations that have been built around us. So I think it's so beautiful for everyone to experience this, and I'm excited about being a part of it with you to do that because this is what we've been living our whole lives. We had to
I
go
know.
outside the box. That's why I was so thrilled when I walked into outside the box 15 years ago.
Yes,
I was like, I'm home. This is my
I
place.
know. I know. And I had so many people and males too that arrived at that space and felt like, what is this? It didn't matter what it was. They kept coming and coming and everybody. And we formed a very special community. And part of this community is the neurodiverged community,
Yes.
which they need us. They need us more than ever because they've been living undergrounds, hidden, not giving service. And now things are changing. There are many nonprofits also thinking of them. There are many places starting to think of adapting to their needs. And that's the new era. It's an era where we can acknowledge our limitations. And I love it, the abilities, the different abilities, right? Because we all come with a gift. Doesn't matter what it is,
Yeah.
but we can share. Our gifts are not meant to be ours.
That's right. Our gifts are to be given away. That's why they're gifts. You
That's
don't
why they're
receive a gift.
gifts.
You're given a gift, but you don't give
Exactly.
your gift, you give your gift with
Exactly.
joy and giving too is so important. And I think a really interesting point, a very important point that we talk about briefly is the importance with the neurodivergent population now with what is coming to light. Are you familiar with the telepathy tapes?
Yes, yes.
So there we are with the brilliance, the gifts that are there for, and I like we can even turn this around. We are given a gift by working in this community.
Absolutely. That's what I said is the infinitive, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, and I what I love the most about working with this population is that they are so authentic.
Yes.
They don't pretend to like it. If they don't like it, they say it, you know. I love their honesty, you
Exactly.
know.
Exactly.
And also they have a lot of intuition. They know if it's not okay for them, they need to leave and they leave,
Yes.
you know. So they are very sensitive to their own needs, their own heart, and they are amazing. Amazing. I love them. My first undergraduate was in art, my second was in speech therapy. And we find out that a lot of these kids will not be able to talk no matter how much they spend time in speech therapy, they
Mhm.
won't be able to talk, but they can still communicate. And it's up to us to understand their language and not to make them to talk our language. And so,
Exactly.
yeah. So it's
I love that. I think that's where I think things are changing. And trusting the intuition, I intuitively knew when you said that to me, I want you to do this. I was like, yes. It was just instantaneous because that's that feeling in the heart, the gut, even, the gut heart, brain connection. It's like the super highway, but you feel it. You just feel it deep in your being, wherever it's coming from, that this is right, this is correct.
and you said a word highway, right? So I like it to say that the scenic part of life never comes as a straight highway.
That's right. You have to take the scenic route. You have to get off the highway, right?
And you're going to encounter the curves, the ups and downs.
Yes.
If you want to take the highway, do it.
You'll get there faster, but you'll miss all the interesting little out of the way spots where they make the homemade honey, right? Or the beautiful. It was an example of that was in. I was with a friend in Mexico last year, and we wanted to go to some of the different Mayan ruins, and so we were on our way to one that was very famous, but it was out of the way, and so we had to go up and through these little mountain towns, and we came as we were driving along. We came upon this little teeny place at very, very
Mhm.
small. And I just literally said, "Stop the car," to our driver, just like, "Stop." And we went in, and the gentleman was selling, he had the little jars of different herbs and honey, and we had such a beautiful time with him. And we went back, he took us back to the back where his little house was up off and back of his shop, and all the chickens were in the yard. And we had such a beautiful connection that never would have happened if we would have been on the highway.
Exactly. Exactly. Absolutely. And I like it the stop. Stop. I like it that intuition that says also to stop, not just to go ahead,
Right.
but to say stop.
Oh,
Stop and
yeah.
just don't do it or don't go or delay or because you don't know what is in that moment. I avoided one time, I avoided a circumstance in my life in Rio has a lot of violence, unfortunately. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world,
I've
but it's a
been
lot
there.
of violence. And I had to go to my dance studio because it was far away from my house, it was an hour from my house. And I would go happily and drive happily and go through traffic, no problem. But that day, I said, no, stop. I'm not. And then I thought, why? I said, because something is not right. And then I didn't. And then there was a shooting at the tunnel, and I did that, and I wasn't there. You know?
Yeah.
So I think those intuitions, going back to intuition,
Yep.
those intuitions that tell you to move and to tell you not to move, to accept something or not to accept, you know?
Yes. Yes.
So like I think Snow White missed her intuition. She was empathetic, but she didn't follow her intuition because she knew that the stepmother wasn't a good person, and yet she ate the apple, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a good example of an intuition. If you have a strong intuition, you wouldn't have eaten the apple.
Yes.
You would
Yes.
have said, no, thank you for the apple.
Yes.
And I think in life, we needed to kind of work on that awareness to say no to the apples that comes from envy people, angry people, that people that doesn't want to see us happy. Because a lot of people, they don't share the same values as us, And if you are too happy or too joyful, I had people in my life that had said to me, "Your happiness bothers me."
Literally?
Literally. I had a person that said, "I'm taking you off my Facebook. I can't stand your posts. You are too happy, you are too positive, and that bothers me." And then I said, "Thank you for acknowledging that. Thank you for your honesty. And
Yeah.
yes, gladly deleted me from your Facebook, from your life. We are not meant to be all the time together. Even if we are one, we don't need to be one in distance, right?
Yes.
We can be one separated from distance, being the
Yes.
same planet. But yes, and so I think that intuition of really scanning your emotion and scanning other people's emotion and see if we are in sync or not, right?
Yes. Yes. Feeling it, trusting what you're getting, even if you're,
And not being attached to it. We
yes.
all not meant to be doing things together all the time,
Right.
right? So it's frequencies. If a person is in that frequency of joy and happiness and service and being kind, even my documentary, because I'm working on this documentary about kindness, the
Uh-huh.
importance of kindness in mental health, I had people that said, "But why are you doing this? Why is this important?" Because it is important.
It's
At least it is important to me.
yes. Well, you know what? That's a good enough reason because it's important to you. And so therefore you're sharing what's important to you.
Yeah.
Is that
And
a
I find my tribe. And so
right?
like finding your tribe, I would say that is very important too. Is like finding the people that say, yes, you can, is important.
Mhm.
The people that can hold space for you, the people that can serve you and you can serve them and be in the loop of infinity, not just giving or taking,
Mhm.
right?
Yep. Yep.
Simple things. It's very simple,
It
but
Yeah, it's very simple. And even when people are in, even if you're positive and you're joyful, then there still will be other joyful, positive people that are fitting in with whatever you're accomplishing at that time that's important. So we weave and bob, like we may, like I didn't see you for a long time when I finally
yes.
got a hold of you. I said, Lulu, I need to talk to you, and I think you'd be so perfect for this. And then it was like right away you were like, oh, I miss you. I was like, okay, let's talk. And so then we trust that the timing is right. We trust when it comes back together. It ebbs and flows, right? It's just like nature. The sea goes out and it comes back in.
Yes. And your body, not so much your mind, will tell yes or no.
Yes, that's right. The inner feeling. That goes with the intuition too. Thank you for bringing that up. I loved what you just said when I said stop the car and you said yes. It's very important sometimes with our intuition that it's stop, not just go. And it can stop and go because it's just like it's a process with anything else. I really believe that it is that stop and go, but incrementally. And I've just had, instances happen in my life just recently where I thought it was go, but then something else happened and I went, oh, well, I guess it's stop. I thought it was go, but now it's saying stop. So for whatever reason, we have to listen to it constantly, right?
Yes. And also, yes, and green light doesn't necessarily means well, because sometimes when something doesn't happen to us, is in our best interest not to go forward.
Yes.
It's in our best interest not to do it.
Yes.
And I always thank God for something that doesn't happen as well.
Yes.
Or meetings. Sometimes I schedule a meeting and then for some reason that meeting doesn't happen, and I don't take personally. I actually am very thankful. And then something else happens. And then so right now, when something doesn't happen to me, I pause and then I wait for the gift of why this is not happening.
Yes, I love that.
Right?
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah,
because I can't have uh, um, with the instant gratification, right? I
yeah,
can't have gratification just because things are yeses, you
yes,
know?
yes. Good.
I can't put my emotion to this. Oh, I'm really happy right now because everything is happening. Oh, I'm really sad right now because things are not happy. I'm like, I'm happy that this didn't happen. Why it didn't happen? You know, and maybe I don't know the reason, and
Right.
it's okay too. And then maybe it's not the time. It's like going through orange field. Not all oranges are ready to be picked. So sometimes it needs to stay in the tree and wait for the time that orange will be a good orange to pick. So
Yeah.
sometimes if we don't work with our intuition, but we work with our impulses,
Yes. Yeah.
then we misjudge the moment, the right moment to pick the apple.
Exactly. That's why it's a moment to moment thing. It's very important I'm really happy we're talking about this because it's where you're really fine tuning the intuition. And I love what you said about the gratitude in it not happening and being in the point where we don't have to know the reason why it's not, but we have gratitude because we know it's all perfect and in
It
divine.
is. And it is in the most surreal moments of life, like during COVID,
Uh-huh.
when we had this tremendous opportunity to become better humans, right?
Uh-huh.
And learn how to cope with what was going on. I think we forget about it. I almost feel like we do need it to come together and do a deep healing on the moments of survival at that time,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Because there was a lot of losses in life that we can't just forget. It was tremendous what happened in COVID.
It certainly was.
Tremendous. And then yet we have this resilience, we have this force that keeps pushing us to go further and further in life, you know? So this going back to what I was saying in the beginning, we are now granted this great possibility to enhance our life with technology. And I love that. I'm an AI girl. I use AI for many, many of my projects, but I am also a human. And I think my mission right now in life is to hold a space for others to be humans and and just feel the joy through the process of life.
That is beautiful. And I feel the exact same way. And I talked about COVID in my book too, about the challenges, but how that made us all resilient. That showed us all how we could move forward and hold that kindness and compassion in the midst of it and accept our humanity, accept our humanness. And right now, that's enough for us to and be in service in that way of accepting everyone's humanity and holding the space for everyone to be human while we're still teaching and growing and learning because as you said it's the loop.
Yeah.
We're teaching and learning and growing, we're in the infinity loop, but it's a beautiful way to bring our little interview to a perfect closure of bringing it back down to trusting our intuition and sharing our humanity and allowing everyone else's humanity and supporting their humanity.
Yeah. And maybe the intuition for some is not in the heart, but is in the gut,
Hmm. Yeah.
because we all know now that the the guts are the second brain, right?
Yep. There's more nerve endings in it than there is in your brain. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, trusting your gut, trusting your gut, I think is very important, is to listen to your body. Don't be attached to fear. Then you make a wise decision with your mind, right? And then you let your spirit just be free,
That's
free of
right.
free of fear and more inclusive of love.
Absolutely. Free of fear, which I like to always use the FEAR, false evidence appearing real. There's only two emotions, fear and love, right?
Exactly.
We just go back to the love. And you
Go back to
embody
the
that,
love.
my dear. So
Thank you, my dear.
I
Thank
want
you.
I want you to tell everybody where they can find you, where they can find your book. If you want to know more about Lulu and about her amazing work and her projects and her book, how can people reach out to you?
Yeah. So social media is Lulu Carter, and for our nonprofit is Be Gaia, as B, the B, we are connectors, Be Gaia of the world, begaia.org,
Uh-huh.
and
BEE, right? BEE.
begaia.org. And if you want to be part of this caravan of joy with Caroline and I, and also don't be a stranger, really. If you know me, if you get to know me, you see that I'm I'm gonna be right there with you wherever you're at. So don't be a stranger. Connect with me. I love connections. Never too busy for connections.
Absolutely. And do you still have houseofgaia.org?
Yeah,
I think
houseofgaia.org, begaia.org. Yeah, yeah.
yep. So Be Gaia or House of
We
Gaia.
have so many domains there. Be happy at Gaia. There's
So you can find her anywhere,
you
everyone.
will find it. Well, the best person if you want to find me is through Caroline because she's going to be part of the Caravan of Joy.
That's right. So anybody, you can always come to our Facebook page, our Intuition Incubator Facebook page, and we can stay connected there as well. So
And please come if you want to meet me and if you want to see what we are doing, come to Bloom. It's a
yes,
multimedia art show and it's Saturday, it's April Saturday, the 25th from 3 to 6. 3 hours of joy.
where?
Come
Tell
to
them where.
get your vitamin joy with us.
And tell them where, Lulu.
It's Twist Gallery at Bayshore,
Okay, in
and
Naples.
it's in our website, the
Oh,
address.
okay. So anyone, you can go to the website, Twist Gallery on Bayshore, and that's where the event is happening, the Bloom
Yeah.
event.
All
So
right.
wonderful. Well, thank you
See
so
you, see you
much.
soon, Carolina. See you soon.
Yes, I will. I'll see you next week.
Mwah.
Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you, everyone. I
And
love you. I
I
love
love,
your spirit. I love you, your patience of hanging with us until the end. Thank you so much.
yes, thank you so much, everyone. And stay tuned for another amazing episode of the Intuition Incubator interviews. Goodbye, my
Thank you.
dear.
Bye.
We'll see you soon.